Following Uganda's independence in 1962, the country has been transitioning through several armies, many of which had questionable conduct in the different dictatorship regimes.
We were not the first armies, as we keep saying. There was the tribal armies. They had their ideology. There were the colonial armies. We had our fair share of that one. And for the case of Uganda, it was called the King's Africa Rifles. Not the king of any of the tribes here, but the king of Britain. Post-independence, we had those armies. Uganda Army, for the record, was anything but Ugandan in terms of behavior. So their biggest failing was discipline. It was later even made worse during the time of the post-Idi Amin era.
In January 1986, Uganda attained herself political stability, transitioning from the several dictatorship regimes to the democratic NRM rule.
Protect and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
Over the last 3 decades, the country's national army, Uganda People's Defence Forces, under the wings of the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs, has had progressive development plans turn into impressive projects.
They are now manufacturing products, even products of a non-military nature, for sale to the Ugandan market.
Following President Museveni's 2001 election manifesto, which included modernizing and professionalizing the army, which has since been achieved, it was also imperative that the forces become independently productive to be self-sustaining as an institution. Today, the Ministry of Defence and Veteran Affairs boasts of several successfully accomplished tasks and more ongoing national projects. Starting off with the National Enterprise Corporation, NEC, whose mission is to produce and provide goods and services for the benefit of the defence forces, veterans of the UPDF, and the general public.
The National Enterprise Corporation was formed to provide goods and services to the army. And the establishment, of course, was later, it's grounded also in our national constitution, the supreme law of this country. Article 209D of the constitution provides that the one which provides the functions of the UPDF. And one of the functions is to engage in productive activities for the development of Uganda. So by engaging in production, NEC, the army, is engaged in productive activities and therefore fulfilling one of its roles as laid down under the Constitution. Then secondly, like any defense industry worldwide, it was to provide self-sufficiency, so that we can be able as a country to build that capacity, to build an in-house or in-country sustainability, so that we are able to supply our troops at any time. We can produce goods that we need, we can produce the arms and ammunition that we need for the country. So it was basically about self-reliance.
The corporation runs its businesses through joint ventures and the subsidiaries.
We have a number of them. The biggest maybe is Rural Industries. It's based in Nakasongora, 135 kilometers from here. We have NEC Works, Engineering and Construction Company. We have another subsidiary called NEC Uzima. That one produces the mineral water which you enjoy in the UPDF. We have NEC Agro, which deals with the value addition and is also responsible for the supply of foodstuffs to the UPDF. And those are the main subsidiaries. The main joint ventures we have is we have Choga Dynamics. That one is a joint venture between Rural Industries and the China Wambao Engineering Corporation, and it deals in the manufacture of explosives. It's also based in Nakasongora. Then we have another joint venture called ProHeri International. It has not taken off, but that one is basically a joint venture to handle the maintenance, repair, and overhaul of military helicopters.
Luwero Industries currently has a workforce of about 400 employees, both active and retired UPDF officers and civilians. The company produces hardened tools, carbide dies, and spares for domestic consumption, in addition to the AK-47 upgrades. The subsidiary also produces extensive metal fabrication for weapon mounting for the UPDF infantry fighting vehicles for AMISOM missions, plus it has a very able research facility that collaborates with Makerere University. The Luwero Industries is also in a joint venture with Wanboa Engineering Company for the Choge Dynamics project for the manufacture of explosives with a project line in Nakasongola. Having its factory establishment at the Kachiri Barracks in Makiso District, Nekwizima does produce portable bottled water to contribute to the feeding of the forces, as water is very important for operational rations. The Nekatonga farm, located 90 miles southwest of Kampala, covers 17 square miles with about 350 heads of Boran, Broham crossbreeds of cattle. The farm is well advanced with proper water supply and a modern sprayeries, and is now greatly implementing the bull fattening project for the country's steady and consistent beef supply.
The other project also related to what has been going on at the Nek Farm Katonga is the development of infrastructure at Chankwanzi. We developed 9 square miles and put infrastructure, including the roads, including paddocking, including a very good water recirculation system, spray races, and all that is also in preparation for the beef export project.
The NEC Tractor project was established to contribute to the modernization of agriculture, with a goal to deliver competitive and readily available agriculture tractors, machinery and accessories both locally and regionally. The subsidiary sells the machinery and its spares as well, plus training of operators, repairs and maintenance of the same. The NEC Construction Works and Engineering Limited handles the construction and engineering works of the Defence Forces, government departments and the private sector. The NEC Tractor Hire Scheme Limited has agriculture machinery and expert technical staff to comprehensively provide services such as bush clearing and irrigation equipment, plus several others. The corporation has recently partnered with Kira Motors for the assembly of the bus and Guangzhou Dongsong for being the sole distributor of the Sukulu fertilizers, which were recently launched by the President at the end of the Africa Kwetu Great Trek.
Of course, you know, Uganda is the power of Africa. We talk of good weather, we talk of fertile soils, but these soils with time get exhausted. And unfortunately, the Ugandans have not been using fertilizers because of the good weather and fertile soils. Now, there is a factory which has been established in Tororo, Sukuru, by a Chinese company, Dongsong, and NEC entered into a contract. We are the off-takers. We have a commodity sales agreement with the Dongsong factory. So all the fertilizers that are going to be produced in that factory will be sold through NEC to farmers and other organizations. So we think that one is going to support agriculture in this country.
In bid to improve the infrastructural outlook and capacity of the UPDF, several projects have been under construction and refurbishing. In the different barracks, many new structures have been put up to meet the increasing demands of the forces. These in bid to better the training and equipping of soldiers with various skills. In Nakasongola Cantonment, which is meant to accommodate the UPDF Air Forces headquarters that should be relocated from Entebbe Air Base, several buildings of residence were put up to match modern housing standards. The 3-kilometer asphalt runway was also greatly renovated to accommodate a good number of air jets. Still in Nakasongola, a helicopter hangar is being set up and awaits completion to be in use, which will eventually reduce costs on foreign repairs of Air Force equipment.
We have a grand plan to recapitalize our cargo airline Uganda air cargo, because the army needs a cargo airline so that we can be able to airlift our equipment as and when necessary, both for UPDF missions inland and abroad.
In the eastern part of the country, a lot of infrastructure, construction and uplifts have been realized. In Lugazi, several structures are set in place to provide various courses, some of which are engineering, both at certificate and diploma level.
Apart from restoring security and stability in the country, which is very visible, there are other practical programs and projects on the ground which the government is undertaking to professionalize and transform the army even to greater heights. Most of our training schools have been built, I can say, to international standards.
At the Chimaka Senior Commandant Staff College, a serene and conducive learning environment with refurbished infrastructure was provided. It has also since signed a memorandum of understanding with Makerere University, allowing officers that go through the school to attain a Master of Arts degree in Defense Studies and admit senior officers from the UPDF, neighboring armies and beyond.
But 3 years, you not only do military training, but also you enlist for a university degree in security studies. So we now have Kabamba, which is cadet school affiliated to Makerere for that degree, like Chimaka is the staff college.
The Gaddafi cantonment in Jinja was also greatly improved with infrastructure outlook. The Ministry of Defense has put in place several structures to facilitate the different purposes. On the same premises, a state-of-the-art multi-billion building sits to house the Uganda Rapid Deployment Capability Center, headquarters, a communication hub, and the refurbished White House building. At Magamaga, this is where the UPDF's College of Logistics and Engineering is located. This trains officers and men in various academic disciplines such as catering, petroleum oil, lubricants management, and officers' basic courses, among others. In Mubende district is where the country's military academy, Kabamba, is formed. Several structures have been renovated, such as the Serengeti House, and new ones put up. Also, a complete 10 billion multi-purpose complex that serves different purposes sits here. In the neighborhood is the Karama School of Training with proper structures. Both institutions are provided with piped water from a neighboring lake, Rechtunchu. At the Acholi P Barracks in Padel district, an administration block sits on the premises and houses different offices of the division. A commandant's house and a health center 4 have also been set up. At the Gulu Lumumba Recreational Center, housing units for the army families are well renovated. At the various UPDF Air Force training schools in Nakasongola, Gulu and Entebbe air bases, simulators for training combat pilots are well installed. The revolutionary mode of training has helped in cutting costs and greatly minimized on pilot training risks. Kaweweta UPDF Recruits Training School is where all new military entrants are vigorously skilled.
Any health system, like they say, even the body, you assimilate, you reject. But I wouldn't want to say that when we retire, we are rejecting. But it's a time for renewal in terms of fresh blood, and those who are in the evening or afternoons of their service get out, and then the others come.
The institution has many infrastructure developments on its grounds. Most structures for the recruits are being constructed. In Kapeka, the single military school was transformed into an AU-UN Peace Support Operations Training Center. The well-structured school prepares and organizes troops sent to Somalia. More construction continues as the UPDF Engineering Brigade works towards improving the outlook of the UPDF infrastructure. In the Armored Brigade Barracks Masaka, accommodation for officers has been catered for by construction of 4 blocks of flats. In Bihanga, a training center for company commanders, platoon commanders, and young officers, proper structures are put up and the trainings are well prospering. The UPDF Engineering Brigade continues to work on several projects across the country. Key to highlight is the ICT hub in Nakawa, for which the auditorium, offices and main hall were built by the Engineering Brigade. The Kololo Pavilion, which houses NERA headquarters, was also set up as a UPDF project for the Golden Jubilee. A solar plant at the Kololo ceremonial grounds was designed to reduce power bills incurred by the UPDF. The pilot project will soon be rolled out to other military facilities.
At the moment, we are also working on the solar project, whose pilot program has already been successful at Kololo, and very soon we shall roll it to Bombo Barracks and other barracks.
Plus, the Makerere Indoor Stadium, which seats 2,000 people. At the UPDF Land Forces headquarters in Bombo, the overall rehabilitation of the hospital has been completed, with a fully operational dental clinic, medical store, and a casualty ward. The facilities are also open to civilians. In place is the officers' wing and intensive care units with proper structures to handle emergency medical cases. At the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs headquarters in Mbuya, the construction of a referral hospital and an outpatient department center is already ongoing. The soon-to-be-completed facility is set to reduce the costs of specialized treatments for soldiers, both in national private hospitals and abroad. The 250-bed capacity hospital will provide both specialized and super-specialized services, including a heart unit, cancer unit, in addition to the 250 beds. The services offered will be for referred servicemen and their families, VIPs, and offer private services in a private-public partnership. In its overall setup, the hospital will be part of the national health structure.
Construction of this referral hospital is going on, and in that hospital we are going to have facilities that can treat complications that have been forcing our soldiers to be airlifted abroad for treatment. We have been spending a lot of resources on referring some of our officers abroad for medical ailments which cannot be handled in Uganda. Many have been going to India and other countries for treatment, and we think that that expenditure should completely be curtailed because it's costly, not only to UPDF but also to the country.
Also in Buya is a senior officers' hospital facility. At the country's military academy, Kabamba, a well-constructed 50-bed Health Center 3 hospital with an isolation room and a laboratory is put in place. At Kata Barracks in 3rd Division, a Health Center 3 was put in place and now provides treatment for not just the soldiers but surrounding community as well. In bid to help improve and rebuild the lives of soldiers injured at war, the UPDF established the Mobende Rehabilitation Center, where most of the infrastructure was renovated to match modern-day standards, with an administrative block and 5 hospital wards, plus a 30-bedroom guest house with a conference hall and dining. The facility is open to civilian population who would like to use its services. In the same light of rehabilitation, A magnificent orthopedic workshop manufacturing artificial limbs is well set up here, helping soldiers incapacitated by war regain their normal lives by providing prosthetic limbs. The facility also makes wheelchairs, walking sticks, and white canes for the blind. In bid to improve transport and safety for the soldiers at war, the UPDF established the Ugandan Military Vehicle Center at Magamaga. The center manufactures Nyoka armored trucks to execute military duties. The idea in doing so was to build capacity in the UPDF and eventually transfer skills for future use. Considering that the entire country has been at peace, hence leaving a major majority of the forces without a front line to fight, the UPDF has been greatly engaging in non-combat income-generating activities as a way to even better the livelihoods and productivity of the army away from war. Various agricultural projects are in place for increased supply of food to the army itself and for commercial purposes. In the 5th Division, at Labradong, soldiers have greatly engaged in cotton growing on a large scale for majorly commercial purposes. At the Mubende Rehabilitation Center, soldiers here grow maize and cassava on a very large scale, consuming it domestically but also selling for cash. At the Ntungamo 4th Battalion, soldiers have responded to the seed multiplication program and are very well able to sell seeds for distribution by the Operation Moth Creation. At the Field Artillery Division in Masindi District, more agricultural projects varying from tree growing, fruits, cash crops, a fish pond and livestock are in place to cater for the UPDF families. In the far northeast, a sunflower project keeps the soldiers busy. To further cater for the welfare of the Defense Ministry staff and their families, a circle was introduced.
Wazalendo Circle was started 15 years ago in 2005. So it has existed for 15 years now. The purpose for which it was created was to support, in addition to what UPDF officers and soldiers earn in the form of salaries. This circle was formed or created to supplement on what we earn to attempt to solve our welfare needs.
The Wazalendo Circle was purposefully established to directly bring financial services nearer to its members.
Number one, and the biggest achievement has been to change the mindset of our members, to believe in savings, to see right in savings. So far, we have given out 1,200 billion so far given. So whereas members of UPDF, who is their salaries, would have gotten such amount of money if it was not for this arrangement.
The circle uses modern software of operation and provides ATM banking services to its members. Through the circle, members take loans to help with their development projects. The UPDF has also gone further to set up army shops. These sell construction materials to the soldiers at a subsidized price, encouraging them to develop individually through building. The Entebbe Air Base is another Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs strategic establishment that is home to UPDF's air assets, some being transport and combat helicopters, reconnaissance planes and fighting jets. UPDF has an established Marine Brigade to manage combat operations on the various lakes across the country. The soldiers are trained with survival tactics on water. The Army has also been tirelessly exporting peace abroad.
some of the things we export, which are unfortunately not on the radar of when we are reading the national budget, I think they should also include it, is peace we export. We have done so in many areas in our neighborhood, and now the most prominent one is, of course, Somalia.
The Parliament of Somalia was sitting in Nairobi. The office of the President of Somalia was based in Nairobi because Mogadishu was completely insecure, inaccessible. And the moment UPDF set foot in Mogadishu and secured the city, the government of Somalia returned to Somalia. And up to now, that government operates in Somalia. That's a big achievement in my view.
Following the 2014 political misunderstanding in South Sudan, the UPDF was able to revert a terrible crisis that was at the verge of happening. In the Central African Republic, the Uganda People's Defense Forces was able to keep LRA's Joseph Kony at bay throughout its entire time of existence there. All this in addition to eradicating several other insurgencies across the country.
We had a long counter-insurgency campaign in the north of the country, fighting the Holy Spirit for the LRA, then the LRA, then the Uganda Christian Democratic Army. We had the other group of Odong Latek, UPDF. Then in the west we had the DF, we had all sorts of people, we had FOBA.
Then lawlessness and insecurity which was prevailing in Karamoja. The restoration of law and order in Karamoja, because the indisciplined warriors were rustling cattle and sometimes taking the law in their hands in Karamoja and neighboring areas, terrorizing areas of Teso, areas of Lango, and other parts in the neighborhood. That one, the disarmament program and development program of Karamoja completely ended it.
So I want to say that overall, the scorecards can read that the UPDF has pacified the country.
The UPDF also engages in extracurricular activities such as netball and goes ahead to participate in competitions with other East African armies. The forces have recently participated in the Busika motocross rally and even gone ahead to make a financial contribution.
Но до этого еще очень и очень далеко. Итак, выбирается на противоположную сторону.
They also participated in the Russian military competitions and scored highly. As Uganda tries to reach the middle income status, the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, together with the UPDF, is set to ensure that this cherished dream is well realized within the set timelines and without any disruptions from within or outside, with a belief that this noble goal will be supported by well-wishers.